old crooked horn bull. We are back at Chickasaw National Recreation Area here at the National Park in my hometown of Sulphur, Oklahoma. Just back behind me is the herd that Cole and I was a part of, the historic movement of the bison from their old pasture, where this herd started in 1934, I believe, and was finally moved out of that pasture into this pasture right here behind us. They're hanging out up here around the new corral system. They're gone a little bit further away from us, but Cole's got the long lens to pick it up so you guys can see them a little more up close than us right now. But what a great time that we had, and very fortunate and lucky to be able to do that and bring you guys along on that as well. So we just came to do a herd check on them and see how they were doing. Of course, we can't go in the pasture with some cues. We would love to do that, but can't do that. And anyways, we've been driving by and seeing how they were doing, making sure they're all good. And I know Steve and those guys at the park is watching them and keeping an eye on everything. So what I wanted to do is, besides coming to check on them, we've been working at the Ponderosa and at the Lynch property at Mom and Kevin's, getting ready for our spring roundup, which I can't wait to bring to you. It's going to be exciting. So we have been catching bison and working on that. That's the big step. You got to catch them before you work them. And if you guys have never seen our working videos, stay tuned for that. It's always can be an interesting show. Now we kind of did a little relocation here and found the herd. They moved away from us. The big guys came down here in the corner and checking things out. So there's two things great about this property. One, this highway right here is the one that we take to get to the Dunbar place, which is Mom and Kevin's place. So every time we drive by, I'm always looking at the old pasture, but now they're in the new pasture where they're way more visible. You can see them like this. And so the other neat thing about this specific 42-acre property, this process started many years ago. When I just graduated high school, when I started working here at the park in 2004, my first summer, I was able to get my wildland firefighter certification. And so what they started doing actually with this property, with this portion right here, is they started cleaning up all of the cedar brush and all that, and started removing the cedar because it was covered in cedar. And then what happened is I was able to be on the very first burn on this to clean this whole pasture up. And so that was really the first process of that. And that's kind of where it all began and how it started. And then once the superintendent, Bill Wright, got in there and started really kicking it off in 2016, 2017, when he got the paperwork side of it and started the push to get these guys over here. So you're talking, you know, almost 20 years of time, and then a year and a half to build this fence. But here's the whole story about this unique 42 acres. This used to be part of the city of Sulphur, and it was actually a golf course. And here's the fun part. I learned this whenever we burned it, because you could see the old bunkers on this specific pasture in this property. And I had no idea that this was actually a golf course at one time. I think a 9-hole golf course or something like that. I'm sure the park historians could probably key in and tell you some more interesting facts about it. But an old golf course, then part of the park, covered in cedar trees removed, burned, and then fence built, bison over here in an old golf course, part of the old city of Sulphur. Pretty interesting story. And now I get to drive by it and see these bison here on the way to see Dunbar and those bison over there.